so I have confirmed there is no problem. I phoned the BM shop and explained them the problem, and they said, yep, it should move forward and back, so it should go in and out, and therefore something must be wrong. But they couldn't figure out how it could possibly be wrong, because if I've mated the two together, it has to go in and out. So I just kind of thought maybe I'm not pushing hard enough, and I'm not. Look, so it's in the forward position now, there, and that's where I didn't push any harder. I just assumed that it would be a soft push, but it's not. Watch this. It's quite a hard push. There, see, there we go. So it actually works perfectly fine after all. Okay, so I am going to try and put the swing arm back in. Now that the gearbox is securely attached, I need to put the swing arm in, which goes in like that. No, like that. There's a boot that I need to replace. This boot's a bit dirty. I'm just going to give it a good clean and then lube it, and it should be fine. There's no wear or tear on it. Looks like it's fine. Here is the the bearing that I replaced. So you can see there it is, the new bearing. Or was it that one? It's that one, it's a new bearing. Managed to get that in without any problems. So this is the old one that came out really pretty bad. I'm going to put some more grease in it just to make sure it does rotate freely. And let's see about getting this back on the bike, because then we put the shaft in and the shaft feels very nice and smooth, so there's no issues there. So spline lube, and we might be able to get the final drive on tonight. Okay, I've cleaned up all the hardware associated with putting the swing arm back. New washers, wire brushed and cleaned these, and did the heads as well, because they're actually quite visible from the bike. And I double checked the bearings feel really nice and smooth now. It's really cool, because I tried fitting these onto the bearings and they glide perfectly, so happy days. I'm going to be putting some lube on the output shaft spline, this optimal stuff. Trying to use it sparingly because I've got a few more places to use it. Okay, so we have to push this back in until the boot sort of seats itself and doesn't come off. There we go. I can feel that it's on nicely. I like to be able to put most things finger tight all the way, and it shows that the bolts and the threads are still good. Okay, I'm going to torque this side down first. This goes to 10 Newton meters, and then we go to the other side. So I'm using the smaller torque wrench because it was already there. I did it earlier. This one too, and then this one is the last one. 10 doesn't seem like a lot, but okay, you've got to do two different torques.
So first of all, we try and get this in by hand as far as we can go. And then we actually torque it to seat the bearing, and then we retract it a little bit and then torque it down again. But we can't torque the inner one. So some guys cut holes in their sockets. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I have to have a look. Using an ordinary Allen key to preload the bearings, then slacken it fully and tighten it to the specified torque setting. Hold the stub in that position while the lock nut is securely tightened. Well, that's going to be a challenge. It's literally just that. This has got to be torqued to, what, 7, 8, 9, I can't remember what I just did. This has got to be to 40. So I bought the 40. I made a mark to make sure that doesn't go off vertical. And I turned it a little bit and it's at 40. I turned it a little bit, so I was really close to 40 anyway, so that was very lucky. Very, very lucky. There we go. Pushed in. And give it a little bit of a knock. I believe it's got a little clip that keeps it in. That feels good. So I've brought this piece of wood. This is a 30,000-year-old piece of swamp kauri that we use as a breadboard. Don't tell the wife. I'll put it in between the two. It doesn't get obviously dirty. These are the final drive bolts. They look a little bit dirty, so I'm going to go and just give them a bit of a clean, and then we'll come back. Alright, so I think that looks a lot better. Don't know if you can see, they're not perfectly clean. I didn't worry too much about the threads, because they don't show. I was worried primarily about the bolt ends. Okay, I've made a royal mess, but that's okay. Get it off the nut, so it's just on the spline. Wow, that's turning quite easily. Am I in neutral? Must be in neutral. Okay. Boom. Ta-da! Could it be easier than that? Okay, I've got new washers. Throw anti-seize on my legs. Why not? Okay, done. Okay, I've put the wheel back on and the brake disc, so I've put that on with the 2 screws. I didn't torque it, those 2 screws, but I will definitely torque these 4. I'm just going to go and polish these. The spacer, just so I know, I have put the spacer in, so yeah, getting there. Okay, so everything I've read says no anti-seize on these bolts because we have to get the torque right. So 104 Newton meters of torque. Okay, all done. Our wheel is on. Okay, going to replace the alternator and the starter motor tonight. So I haven't actually done anything except paint this. So everything else is torqued and still good to go, but I am going to wash these. So the Heinz manual says to lube them, clean them and lube them, which is what I will do. Just going to put a little bit of silicone grease on them to lubricate them, just a tiny amount. Here we go. Okay, I've got shiny new hardware. I bought a what do they call it? A sonic cleaner. So I'll try and clean the other bolts and nuts and hardware when that arrives shortly. But this is brand new from my kit, including the spring clip. Now I am going to put a little bit of copper paste on those. Also, I finally bought it. Okay, I've been using a copied copy of a copy of a copy that I printed off the internet, and there's nothing as good as the real thing. The pictures are just so much crisper, so I'm glad I've got that. 7 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, this is the alternator cover. Looks a bit dirty. I'm going to just give it a clean and then try jet black on it. Why don't you use brake cleaner for everything? Because I've run out of isopropyl alcohol. Jet black is the type of stuff that you put on faded plastic and rubber on a car. And I've used it with great effect before. It really does pop back to life, and it doesn't rub off easily. So whatever you apply it to seems to last. So we'll give it 2 coats, I think. Just let it dry. See how nice it looks already. It's like shoe polish. It's going to stick like hell. There we go. Oh, that took a long time. Okay, the alternator and the starter motor are back on. I'm happy. Okay, one step closer to having this thing rebuilt.